Hey guys, it's Renee Nicole and welcome to my channel. Remember, I'm here to take the overwhelm and frustration out of digital marketing by providing easy to follow tips, advice, and tutorials on creating content that connects with your audience and funnels that convert. Okay, so last week we talked about systems that you need to have in place to support your funnels, and if you haven't watched that video yet, I will link it above here and you can click there to check it out. Okay, today's topic is all about strategy. So I'm going to get into what strategy is, what things you need to think about when you're developing your strategy, and the different stages that the customer goes through and how you create your strategy at the different stages of the customer journey. Okay, so strategy is the outline of the actions that you're going to take to achieve a particular goal. So when you're thinking about strategy, you're basically going to need to answer these 4 questions. What is the end result that you want? Who are you going to target? How are you going to target them? And what action or series of actions you want them to take to ultimately get the result that you want? Okay, so let me just go over that again. When you're thinking about strategy, you want to think about what is the end result that you want, who you're going to target, how are you going to target them, and what action it is you want them to take so that you get desired results. Okay? So when you're developing this strategy, there are 3 stages, that you need to be aware of that which cover the entirety of the customer journey. So it's the initial stage where the customer is now aware of you. Then there's the stage where you build the relationship and build yourself up as an authority. And then the final stage is where they take action and you expand your reach. Okay? So you want to think about how exactly it is you're going to generate awareness, how you're going to build that relationship, build yourself up as an authority, and how you're going to get them to take action. And at each of those stages, you're going to answer the same 3 questions, or the same 4 questions, I should say, where you came up with your strategy. So at the awareness stage, who are you going to target? How are you going to target them, and what action you're going to take for them to ultimately achieve the end result that you want. The same set of questions you will ask yourself at the relationship building stage, and the same set of questions you're going to ask yourself at the action and expansion stage. Okay, so I'm going to dive in a little bit further into how exactly it works at each of these stages, right? So at the awareness stage, who you're going to target? People who don't know about you, right? What you're going to do at this point is introduce yourself. You will talk about who you are, what you do, how you can help the customer. And this is where I just want to make a plug for my very first video where I talked about the basics of what you need to have in place before you even consider building a funnel. And part of that was brand identity, which was understanding who you are, what you do, who you serve, who your customer is. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I'm going to link it above here and you can have a look at that video. Okay, so it's having a clear understanding of your identity and how it is you're going to connect with your customer by explaining how you could help them and why they should even pay attention to you. Okay, so how you're going to do that is by sharing your story. How it is you got to where you are, what drives you, what goals and dreams you have, commonalities between you and your customer. And you're going to explain to them why it is you're there to help them, what pain points you solve, and how they're going to feel after they use your product or service. So at this point, you just want them to do something very simple. So it could be following you on social media. It could be downloading a guide or some kind of freebie. It could even be something like joining your group or even just responding to an email that you sent out to them. Okay? So then at the next stage, which is the relationship and authority building stage, what you want to do is provide even more information so they're not just simply aware of who you are and what you do, but also how it is you help them and getting a deeper insight and understanding into how you work and just how you are as a person. Because right now, personal branding and building up fans of you as a person and not just, a faceless business is what's popular right now. So people follow personal brands. They don't just follow some faceless entity now. What they do, they follow you because they connect with you as a person and your philosophy and your goals and your dreams, and they like to interact with you because of your personality and the rapport that you've developed with them, right? So what you would do at this stage is share even more value. So you're going to provide tips, advice, insight. You're going to give them tools that they could use to improve their circumstances. You're going to give them something that clarifies some misconceptions that they've had probably, or gives them a better understanding of a product, a process, that they were maybe confused about. And maybe you could give them a tool or a tip that they could implement that would give them a quick win. So what you could also do in terms of developing that rapport, you share things like behind the scenes, you share things that you're working on. You have to be real, you have to be vulnerable with them, right? People like to see that you're a real person. So what you could do is share things like setbacks, frustrations, even share triumphs. You could probably give little insights into a day in the life of, kind of a follow me around. This is what it's like to work with me, or this is what a day in my life looks like. Maybe little snippets into your family life, if that's something you're willing to share. But you could also share social proof, client testimonials, case studies, different types of positive results that you've gotten, feedback from clients, right? At the final stage, which is the action and expansion stage, this is where you move the client, the prospective customer, from just being a casual follower, or they should have hopefully gotten really invested with you by now, because you've been sharing so much insight and value with them that you want to invite them now to become a buyer, and a repeat buyer at that, because studies have shown that it's easier to get somebody to make another purchase than it is to actually invite somebody who's completely new to make a purchase with your product. That's why the focus really should be on developing that relationship first before you even start selling them anything, right? So at the first two stages, you're not really pushing any product or selling anything to them. You're just really trying to build that relationship. And then at this final stage, then you'd start making their offer and letting them know that, okay, well, this is how my offer can help you. This is how it solves your problem. And, you have to let people use their imagination. So what you're going to do is invite them to imagine just how amazing that their life is going to be now that they've purchased your product or service, or how drastically their life has improved now that they've used your product, once they've used your product or service. Again, at this point, you'll be providing testimonials and social proof of how your product or service has helped other people. What you could also do is break down your process or your framework to show them each of the steps that you're going to take them through to address their problem and to fix it. Of course, you could do an explanatory video, or you could do like a product demo, for example, or even like a quick overview video of your process and how it's helped people. And what you also want to do is take advantage of the fear of missing out. So show them what will happen if they don't take you up on your offer, right? And you could also do things like provide incentives or bonuses for taking early action, or taking action before a certain amount of time has expired. So once they make the purchase now and you deliver the product or service to them, you're always looking to get feedback from the customers. So you want to get feedback at each stage that they've gone through in your process. You want to get a review or testimonial from them. And again, you want to provide some more incentives for them to continue working with you. So maybe you could give them a discount for your when you make your next offer to them, or you could give them an incentive for referring your product or service to another person. And you want to invite them to work even further with you with another offer, perhaps. Right? So this is basically an overview of how strategy works with the content and the funnels that you create to get your customer aware of you, to build that relationship with them, and then eventually to get them to buy your product or service. So next week, what we're going to do is talk about the value ladder and how it is you build your offers at each stage to actually get them to take the action that you want them to take. Okay? So just to recap what we talked about today with strategy, it's an outline of the actions that you're going to take to achieve a particular goal. It explains who you're targeting, how you're going to target them, and what action it is you want them to take to get the result that you want. Then there are 3 stages that the customer goes through, from being aware of that you even exist, to being a buyer, and it's the awareness stage, the relationship and authority building stage, and the action and expansion stage, right? So at each of these 3 stages, the awareness stage is where you introduce yourself and you get to know each other. Then the relationship building stage is where you cultivate the relationship and you get a deeper understanding of each other and how it is you work and what your process is like. And this is where you take the opportunity to brand yourself as an authority. And then at the final stage, which is the action and expansion stage, which this is where you invite them to actually purchase your product or service. And then if they made the purchase, they invite them again to work even further with you. So I hope this has been helpful, and be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.